What's up? Matt from Merchfab here. Been busy beavering away, putting some kits together for parts, for minis and various other things. Spray gun holders. I'll come back and show you this lot in a minute. Bit of an update on the paint from when you saw it last. Paint came out good overall, but had some really bad paint runs, which, as you can see, completely gone. And had lots of people you know, saying how to lots of different ways of getting rid of paint runs, and loads of advice and stuff like that. So I completely flatted the paint runs out to where they were flat by feel. There was nothing there, but you could still clearly see where the paint run was. You had like a dark outline, really big, and yeah, even though the raised bit of paint was gone, you could clearly see where it was before. I actually pretty sure I had that same issue last time when I had runs on that one. But here, this is where I had a big paint sag hanging down here, and you can see, I'm not sure if the camera will pick it up, but there's like a dark line there where the paint was like sagging down. And initially I thought it's where maybe the paint underneath where the big sag wasn't cured properly, and that it would dry the same colour, but it doesn't. It stayed it stayed darker. So I had that hole all down the side. It was like you could still see the paint run that clearly, but like obviously like big drips, even though it was flatted out. Like that's completely flatted out, but you can still see it. So what I ended up doing was repainting both rear quarters, and came out really good. This side I had a big sag here. I actually ended up rubbing through to the primer trying to get it out, so repainted this side, and I would say that this was like the best bit of painting of all of it out of the gun. That's how it is. Really good finish. And the main difference was that when I painted the second time these quarters again, it was cooler. When I painted the car the first time, it was really quite hot, and I think that sort of affected how the paint went on, so I ended up trying to thin the paint out more, and it just didn't go as smoothly. Whereas when I put this on, I did the normal mix, which was, it was a 2-to-1 mix, and then you got your 10, 20, 30% thinner. So 10% was what was recommended, which was what I did this time. Bit cooler, and yeah, it would just seem to go on really nicely. So yeah, I think temperature obviously makes a big difference, and just painting cars in general is difficult. It's only takes a tiny little thing to throw it off, and yeah, there's so much prep work involved, and it can all go really wrong just by you know, not following the procedure correctly. Like everything has to be exactly by the book. You have to mix the paint perfectly, you need temperature right, prep has to be perfect, can't have any contaminants in the air. You know, there's so much to it, and that's why it costs a lot to get your car painted. And just to even get like a half decent finish is you know, it's a huge amount of work. I forgot how much work it was, and I was quite looking forward to painting this until I actually started painting it. And but it is a very rewarding job when it does finally come out how you want it. So the roof, I had those few spots where it looked a bit dry, so I went over with this which is a 1500 like soft squidgy sort of wet and dry type thing. So I just DA'd over all the dry looking spots with that, and then went straight over it with the polisher, rotary polisher, and I've got all different polishes, all different grades, but I just went with a single stage polish. I'm more of a one and done kind of guy. I've got some finishing glaze and some extreme wax to go on it, but I'll give it a final going over when everything's done. I just wanted to get the roof looking all sort of like uniform, and now the whole roof looks really good. So yeah, that is all looking good, coming along nicely. I've got some big news for this, which I think will a lot of people will be happy about. I've got something turning up tomorrow, so I will, once that turns up, I'll do a video and show you all what that is, but keep your eyes peeled for that. Got a load of subframe kits for doing this to the subframe. I'm going to try and push my shop a little bit more and just try and create more products and try and make the shop a bit more of a business rather than just a little bit of income. And to do that, I really need to like put a load of time and effort into developing products and you know, building up stock and stuff like that. I think realistically I would need about 50 good products that people are, you know, continually buying, and then continue to develop those products and make them, you know, improve them, and yeah, kind of try and make a bit more of a business out of that to help keep things going. So I've got front subframe kits. If you saw the video where I did this, all the mods on that, it's just a case of pretty much welding these in. It's all laser cut. This piece I redesigned because to make sure there wouldn't be any clearance issues, and it's sort of designed in a way to make it easy to fit. It's all pretty self-explanatory really. It only fits in where it needs to go. There's a little kick here which you have on the subframe, so when you're welding it in, if you get this top bit tacked in and clamped in, you'll be able to clamp this bottom edge in and pull it to sort of where it needs to go, and then you can weld up that little slot at the end. Just gives you a bit of leeway because not every one of these is exactly the same, but yeah, it's pretty straightforward. The only thing you do need to make sure of is that your subframe is square and straight before you weld it all in. eBay now do a global shipping thing where I can just send the products to a depot in the UK, and then they will ship it out to wherever you are, if you're, you know, in the States or Australia or wherever you are, which means I can ship worldwide. If you're so wherever you are and you need any of this stuff, then the option's there if you want it. I've also got my shifter tower kit thingies, which use the standard, so these use the standard mini shifter, and it just bolts in through the bottom. You will need some longer bolts for the to come through here. You can sort of position this wherever you need to, and then you've got a bit of fine adjustment with the tilt. This will raise the shifter by 160 mil. So there's that if you need it. I've got 20 of those cut. I've got some more of these reinforcing plates for the steering rack and the toe board. And then these are 3mm aluminium, and these are my spray gun holders that I made the other day. I just wanted something to hang the spray guns on the wall for when you're trying to pour paint in, and you know, when you've got paint in it and you're not using it. I was basically clamping it in my vise, so I made one of these and it came out good. I like the design, so I've made 20 of these. These are for sale as well. So yeah, I'm just trying to come up with as many ideas for different stuff as possible. I already have designed some other things that I am not able to fold because I'm limited with my folder. So I used my buddy Dave's folder to fold up some of this stuff. But yeah, there's more stuff coming. There's going to be some more mini stuff. There's some parts for the P, which will be MX5 based stuff, which I'm currently working on. So yeah, lots of parts, lots of painting, and some big updates for this one coming soon. It's going to be it for this one. Just watching. See you on the next one.